Ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:31. I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Yes, excuse me for being a little bit late here. Mr. Rajaratnam,
Present.
Mr. Heyman,
Present.
Mr. Gorman.
Present.
We have three present in the room right now. Mr. Blades is going to be a little bit late, and then Mr. Bruin will be calling in later, as noticed on the agenda. But we do have a quorum now, yes.
Thanks, Mr. Arlan. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Gorman,
Second. I gotta be on my toes.
please vote. We have 3 ayes with 2 absent. Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll be going into closed session and we'll be back at around 6 p.m. for the regular meeting.
And the item for closed session is existing litigation, Mojave pistachio case.
Gentlemen, apologize for the delay in the closed session. So we are into the regular session. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer if you would. Lord, thank you for giving us this day. Lord, thank you for Ridgecrest. Lord, thank you for our country and the freedom we enjoy. Lord, we ask you to bless this country. Lord, I pray for the troops who are in harm's way. Lord, protect them and protect their families. I pray for our city, our police department. Be with them as they strive to make this place a safe place for us to live in. Lord, bless each one of us here today. Be with us as we conduct this meeting. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Attorney's report out of closed session.
Thank you. Mayor, council members, the council considered one item in closed session as listed on the agenda. No reportable actions were taken by the council in closed session.
Thank you, sir. We have one presentation, so I request council members to walk to the podium. Good evening. This proclamation is for Constitution Week. The United States Constitution, which is America's most important document, it stands as a testament to the tenacity of Americans throughout the history to maintain their liberties, they maintain their freedom, maintain their inalienable rights. So it is very essential we celebrate this occasion because the Constitution is the cornerstone for our democracy. So thank you very much, the representatives of the Daughters of America Revolution. I think you started this celebration in 1955. So thanks for doing that from that time onwards. We are facing uncertain and unprecedented times during this wartime and whatever is happening in the world. It's very important for us, and it is our responsibility to defend and protect our Constitution. So this celebration reminds us that we are responsible for defending our Constitution. With that said, I'll read out the proclamation. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to a rule by law. And whereas September 17, 2024 marks the 237th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Ridgecrest City Council does hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd, 2024 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Proclaimed this 18th day of September 2024, signed by Mayor and Council members. You want to say a few words?
Thank you so much. Constitution Week was initiated by the Daughters of the American Revolution, a patriotic organization that encourages education and historic preservation in communities across America. In 1955, the President General of the DAR, Gertrude S. Caraway, adopted a project to promote the observance of the U.S. Constitution with a Memorial Week beginning on the anniversary of the signing of this document, September 17th. Constitution Week was officially declared by President Eisenhower on August 2, 1956. DAR Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. is a memorial honoring the Constitution. The inscription of the pediment reads, Constitution Hall, a memorial to that immortal document, the Constitution of the United States, in which are incorporated the principles of freedom, equality, and justice for which our forefathers strove. Please stop by our display in the lobby for additional information. And thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh, sure. Picture.
Who's Lori? Lori Snickers says hi. We don't get to see many DAs.
Okay, now we are moving on to public comment of items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the council on matters that are within the council's jurisdiction and do not already appear on the agenda may do so at this time. Council will not respond to any public comments but may provide direction to staff to collect information. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the City Council may not act on an item that does not appear on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. The public comment section of the agenda is limited to a total of 1 hour. Each speaker is asked to provide his or her name. Now we'll begin with public comment. Any public comment from the floor?
Good evening, Council, and everyone else present tonight. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much. My name is Chris Hill. I am a Ridgecrest resident. I am an involved community member, involved in many organizations and businesses here in town. And most importantly, tonight, I come to you as a parent of children of this community as well. I am speaking tonight just to urge the public to please get behind a specific measure. And tonight I speak on Measure AA. Our schools need our help in ensuring that the children of our community are taught in safe, healthy, functional facilities that foster efficient and effective learning environments. Yes on AA provides funding just for that purpose. It will allow the district to go after a $100 million federal grant by giving it access to required matching funds. Whenever there's matching funds involved, I think it's a no-brainer, honestly. Think about what $100 million could do for our children and their future. I'm willing to invest in that. I believe in doing our part to make this community the best that it can be, and that's through our service that we can give, and that's also through our hard-earned money. I urge the citizens of Ridgecrest and this community to vote yes on Measure A. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. My name is Rebecca McCourt, and I am the Executive Director of the Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce, and I am just here because we are co-hosting candidate forums on October 1st, and we want to encourage the citizens of Ridgecrest to submit questions in advance. It can be done through our website, ridgecrestchamber.com/forums, or it can be emailed to me. So that way we are engaging our community to ask questions of our candidates, and that is the request I wanted to make of you all this evening.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other public comment from the floor?
Good evening, Council. Tom Wicknick. I have what I hope will be a simple question, and my question is this: as the city spends funds and uses funds, the public has a right to know how those funds are being used and the projects they're being used on. So my question is about Placer AI, and I would like to know, I'd like to get an answer, and I hope I get the answer that I'm hoping to get, is that has anybody this year, starting from January 1st, on the City Council, had access to the software system that Placer AI has installed here at City Hall? Has anybody requested, and again, from the City Council, has any City Council member requested any data from the Placer AI system since January 1st? And if any data was provided to any of the City Council, sitting City Council members? So basically, it's a 3-question line, and I would just like to know and have somebody answer me in the near future. Again, Placer AI, has anybody on the City Council had access to the software? Has anybody used the software within the city and requested any data? And has any of them used data from Placer AI for any purpose? And if there is a purpose, I'd like to know what the purpose of that was. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comments from the floor? Any public comments on the phone? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment session at 6:22. Next item on the agenda is council announcements direction. Mr. Blades.
I have no specific announcements. They're coming to me right away, but direction, Mr. City Manager, could you, when you get a chance, answer Mr. Wicknick's question?
Yeah, I plan to during my city manager's comment,
Thank you.
where it's appropriate.
That's all I
Doc
have.
Heyman. I just want to make one comment. This is regarding the Public Works, Public Work Director and his crew. They do a great job. I have seen recently that they are working on our roads, cleaning up the weed and brush on the streets. That is very important. So I want to recognize that has been noticed not only by me, by some public. So thank you very much for taking care of that. And keep up the good work and keep pushing on that so that not only we have better infrastructure, we also keep our infrastructure clean. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next item is a consent calendar. All items listed on consent calendar are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. I will now read the one consent item. Proposed action to approve draft minutes of the Ridgecrest City Council regular meeting dated September 4th, 2024. Ms. Charla.
Would any members of the council like it pulled?
Nope.
Any members of the public like item 1 pulled? We can go ahead and entertain a vote then, please.
I move to approve.
Do you have a second?
I second.
We're going to do a roll call vote because Mayor Bruin is on WebEx. So we will start with Mr. Blades,
Aye.
Mr. Rajaratnam,
Aye.
Mr. Heyman,
Aye.
Mr. Gorman,
Aye.
Mr. Bruin.
Aye.
5 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Next, discussion and action items. Discussion regarding the Board of Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. Councilman Haven.
Thank you, sir. So the board did meet last Wednesday. I have a rather short report out. We had a lengthy closed session that day, and due to time constraints for other directors to be at other appointments that they had, we had to roll through the meeting rather quickly, so I'll go over the agenda items. Item number 9 was discussion of potential modification of the JPA to allow flexibility with appointment of alternates. Basically, we just delete a couple words out of the JPA wording as it stands, and with the goal being that the language change would relieve ongoing travel pressures on some Indian Wells Valley groundwater primary and alternate members and prevent meeting cancellations due to a lack of a quorum. And I think it primarily pertains to Inyo and San Bernardino counties. And so that'll be brought back. It's a request that each GA member agency adopts the above modified language in the Joint Powers Authority at their agency board meeting. So we'll see that coming back before the council probably to make a decision on that. The next item was an update on the Rademacher consolidation. So the progress is being made on bringing water to the residents on Rademacher Way. So we just had a brief presentation on that. And so the next item was, let's see, the recycled water presentation. That was rather brief. I believe the chairman of the GA said that we'll have some more discussion on that at our next meeting. In a nutshell, it was kind of a rehash of the recycled water project. Back in October of '23, the board unanimously directed the staff to suspend activities associated with the recycled water plant for the following reasons: the per acre foot costs projections, the recycled water return flows are less than required to meet sustainability per the GSP, limitations in state funding and opportunities, and the timelines associated with project construction. So there were some brief recommendations. The authority has roughly 26 months to seek funding. The cost estimates have not changed. It still continues to be a very costly endeavor. And so in a nutshell, we're still leaving it on the table, but personally, I don't see it probably going too far just because of the costs and the benefit analysis of it. So that pretty much concludes that meeting. And like I said, if there's any further discussion on any of these items on our next meeting, because we were forced to kind of fly through it pretty quickly, I will add it to the next discussion. So That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Heyman. Any comments from the council? Mayor Bruin?
I think you said no.
None, okay.
I don't have anything. I appreciate the hard work you're doing up there. It's one of the more complex issues we have facing this basin, so I appreciate your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Gorman?
Just very briefly, I watched the groundwater board meeting recently, the last one. I urge the public to tune in on that. You'll find it on YouTube and watch it. It's not a long watch because their closed session took a long, long time. Their open session was relatively brief. I continue to be dismayed at the quality of communication between the Groundwater Authority and the Water District. I wish it was improved, both in quantity and in quality. If you watch that meeting, you may get a glimpse of why it suffers. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the public, from the floor, please?
Just a question, when you're referring to the recycling effort that you're talking about, does that have to do with the city's planning about recyclable of the sewer plant?
No, the water from the reclaimed water from the sewer plant will be brought up to a standard level.
Okay.
So we're talking about water that would be purified to a greater standard, which is really costly to be used at, whether either as like a direct injection or for other uses that other parties may find a use for it.
Okay, then I apologize for not watching the meeting. So the GA, what are they referring to as far as the recycling effort?
The actual recycled water, taking it to a level above and beyond what the wastewater treatment plant would.
The GA, that's what they're talking about?
Correct.
Oh, okay, all right. And just as a side note, what is the flow going into our sewer plant now? I don't know, haven't heard a number.
Yeah, about 1.8 million gallons per day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comments on this item from the floor? Seeing none, any comments on phone? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council. Any final comments on this item?
No, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next item. Item number 3, ordinance, second reading and adoption, ordinance 24-07, an ordinance of the City Council, of the City of Ridgecrest, amending the Ridgecrest Municipal Code as it relates to the positions subject to the Conflicts of Interest Code. Ms. Charlan.
Yes, as you may remember, this was brought to you for first reading on August 21st. You approved it at that meeting, and this is a second reading for adoption. This is a biannual notice that we have to complete to go through our job descriptions, our job titles, and recognize who needs to report annually. So if you have any questions, I'm available for you.
Any questions from the council?
No questions.
I think you made the corrections we talked about last time onto the resolution, I think, right?
The only one that I was aware of, sir, was the comment where it said the underlined and
Yeah.
struck through ones. Yes, so I did take that out.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, ma'am. Any public comments on the floor on this item? Seeing none, any public comments on phone? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council for any final comments.
I have no comments. I make a motion to approve.
We
Looks
need
like
to
the
have two
recommended motion
motions.
is a motion to waive reading in full
sir.
and a motion to adopt by title only.
We have to do them separately. Yes.
Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna slip one past you, Rick.
Second.
So the first one is a motion to waive reading in full of ordinance 2407, an ordinance of the City Council, the City of Ridgecrest, amending the Ridgecrest Municipal Code as it relates to the conflict of interest. And I have a motion by Kyle.
Yes.
And a
Do you
second
have a second?
by Hayman. Thank you.
Second. Yep.
We have a
And
motion and second. Roll
Mis-
call.
Mr. Blades?
Aye.
Mr. Rajaratnam?
Aye.
Mr. Hayman?
Aye.
Mr. Gorman?
Aye.
Mr. Bruin?
Aye.
5 ayes, we have, motion carries.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to adopt by title only, ordinance 24-07, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Ridgecrest amending the Ridgecrest Municipal Code as it relates to the conflicts of interest.
I second.
Mr. Blades?
Aye.
I have to think about it because it's out of order. It's so different. Mr. Rajaratnam?
Aye.
Mr. Hayman?
Aye.
Mr. Gorman?
Aye.
And Mr. Bruin? 5 ayes, 5 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Now we will move on to committee reports. City org report from September 5th. Mayor Bruin or Councilman Gorman? You want to take it, Councilman Gorman?
No.
I can, Solomon.
Okay.
City org met on the 5th. We did not have a quorum present. We discussed general items involving SB 1383 and continued implementation, as well as some of the general city org items. There was no actions taken.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next is Finance Committee. You are up again, I think, or Councilman Hayman?
Thank you, sir. So finance did meet. We had a revenue update. I'll just start with different segments here, but sales tax is looking good. It's actually 65,000 above the budgeted amount, so overall doing well. Measure LNV, there was a slight June slump, but in talking with the finance director, it's due to Amazon and some allotment issues back to the cities, and so that's being corrected, and so it might be a little while before we see that revenue back in, but that's, I believe, just a temporary deficit. Measure P is looking good, along with transit, the TOT, and property taxes, same. So overall, everything's looking good. Property taxes were up a little bit. So nothing major to report there. In regards to the employee compensation study that's going to be ongoing or coming about here soon, we had a list of possible comparator agencies or cities. So basically, it's a list of other cities that are as close to the same demographics as our city and number of employees, pay scales, and that gives us a good mean average to look at. We have 23 on the list. We're taking it down to, I believe, was it 16, Mayor?
I think it was 15, but
15.
but it was definitely trimmed down from
Yeah.
about 25
Yeah,
different agencies.
so that's where it stands at this point. So once that list is firmed up, and then things will continue to move forward with the with that study. So, and I believe that's all that I have, unless you have anything to add to it, Mayor.
I just add a little more detail that the issue that we're seeing with Measure L and Measure P, these are based, the offset is because Kern County was failing to properly manage the taxes as it relates to the Wayfair decision, and Amazon had been paying into this pool. We had about a $300,000 deficit that had to be pulled out of that pool. This all tracks back to how taxes are paid through distribution centers now for sales tax. So it's important for the citizens to understand that while before we would have received that county increment for the address of delivery, we no longer receive the county increment for address of delivery. That actually goes to the address of distribution. And it's just important to understand that that means that Amazon packages, which may have been sent to 93555, while we receive the 2% from Measure V and Measure P because those are locally restricted sales tax, the county increment can be shifted from our city to the distribution center city. And that's just an important understanding that that does have an impact on what our overall tax revenue is in the future, because this decision was made at the courts and at the legislature level to put the tax revenue in the distributors' hands as opposed to the local municipalities. That's all.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Councilman Heyman, when you said Measure P is looking good and Measure V is little down, I was thinking about that, but Mayor clarified that both should be down, right? One cannot be up and one cannot be down. So, thank you. Okay, next item. Other committees, boards, or commissions? None? Mr. Gorman?
No, I better not.
None. I'm not on any
I'll
of those.
simply report from Bakersfield that the LAFCO meeting went well. No reportable actions other than continuing to monitor the Inyokern CST situation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next item, city manager report. Mr. Strand.
Yes, thank you. To answer Mr. Wicknick's question to start off, Tom, we'd met in my office several months ago and we discussed Placer AI. And I told you at that time that there would be no council members that have access to that software. That is still true today. They have no access. They have not asked for any information in that system. In other words, they haven't asked for any potential competitors' attendance data within their stores. I've had no questions from them. Currently, there's only 2 people that have access to that software, myself and my analyst, Jennifer Ricketts. The only data that has been shared with council has been number count data, people count data on community events. Otherwise, all the other data is internal staff and used to our strategy of trying to recruit new businesses to Ridgecrest. Okay, go further. Start off, I want to talk about the pool. As you can see today, the Old Boys and Girls Club went down today, so hopefully we'll have the pool demolition wrapped up here in the next couple weeks. The plans for the pool are currently in plan check with the county health department. They have to go through all those steps. Once that's done, our consultant will attempt to pre-qualify some builders that are common for building public pools in an effort for us to get our best price. And we're hoping to have it out to bid here sometime in October, which is the timeline. So that everything's looking good. I do think that our ribbon cutting for the demolition went very well. I appreciated council showing up. The things that were said, especially by Mr. Penny's family, I think were very touching, especially the story concerning how the pool was named and his efforts to get a pool for our children in our community were very commendable, and I think it's worthy of continuing to honor his name for the new pool. So now I'll have Mr. Reed come up, and I'll have him give you an update on some of our road projects. We do have a lot of projects that are about ready to begin, and I think it's good for council and the public to get an opportunity to hear that. Mr. Reed.
Good evening, council. So a little update on Down Street, a little update on 2024 Measure V. Down Street is progressing quite well. I know you guys will have thought there was a lull last week. Last week, there was a second project that Griffith is working on the base that had to have material removed. It was the same material that was coming to our site. It was virgin class 2. So we brought that material from the base to the city. We finished, I'm going to say we probably finished bringing on, I didn't get to get out there right at the end of the day, but when I was there, they were really, really close to having all the base section put in. Fine grade is complete on the stretch of Bowman from about 300 feet towards Norma to the intersection of Downs and Bowman, and it's also complete to about 250 feet, which is where the tie-in point is on Bowman towards Mahan. They're going to be working the rest of this week to complete all the fine grade on the base and compact it and get ready for asphalt. Next week, we expect to see the final pieces of concrete go in on what we call low grade, so cross gutters. The remnants of the crew will be working on digging the holes for the streetlights. I know a lot of you will be happy to hear that, as well as putting the streetlights in on Down Street in between Church and Upjohn. I would expect to see those lights stood after we pave. Today, the tentative date for paving is set for October 7th. We expect 3 days of paving, at which time your streets crew is going to come in, and while Bowman is shut down from Norma to Downs, we're going to slurry all of Bowman. And then the next day, we're going to move the closure on the west side up to Mahan, and we are going to slurry all of Bowman from Downs to Mahan. Then remaining tasks out there are basically after we pave it, it'll be striping and raising utilities and putting the finishing touches on it. I'm sure you guys have noticed that we are also working diligently to clean and repair the channel. Public Works felt it was a great time since the fence was down and access is easy. It's easy to get trucks in and out. It's easy to get equipment in and out. It's easy to get the abundance of weeds in and out. We've taken that opportunity to not only repair the slopes, but also repair the lines of the channel, so that way we don't have further washouts and we don't create a detriment to the new work that we've done. FY24 Measure V, as you guys know, we awarded it 2 weeks ago. The tentative start date for that is the 2nd or 3rd week of October. Right now, the tentative plan is to start in the area of North Sunland Street, so we're going to be doing Cottonwood. We'll be all of that. We'll be doing all of North Broadway from China Lake Boulevard to Sunland. We'll be doing all of North American from China Lake Boulevard to Broadway, and we'll be doing all of Kimberly Street from American to Broadway. Once that's done, we'll move to the southern portion of the project. We'll be doing the remainder of Wild Rose from Downs to Sierra View, and then we'll be doing all of Sierra View from Bataan to Dolphin. Once we complete those streets, we'll then move up to the northern part of town and we will do Lucille Court and Wendy Lynn Avenue.
I'll hold my breath, Travis.
I expect to see that project wrap up middle of November to late November, depending on how everything goes and if we don't find anything, which I don't think we will. Other than that, we're working diligently on the AHSC project. I'm expecting to have that out late October. I did get some really, really good news on Monday. The $1.17 million that I was bragging about to you guys that I thought we got, it's confirmed now. We absolutely did get that. So we're still working diligently on Mahan. Getting through the environmental phase, going to get into our right-of-way phase so we can utilize the $1.5 million that we got for our RSTP funding, and hopefully we'll have that out to bid in early winter. So that's kind of the update on our major roads. And as City Manager Strand is alluding to, he wants to know what the update is on the striping machine. So we procured a new striping machine. It gives us the ability to do thermoplastic striping in-house now. As you guys know, we used to use road paint back in the day. Road paint lasts about a year, and I have 2 members of my Public Works crew that will spend 2 solid months out painting limit lines and restriping things. Thermoplastic in our climate has a lifespan of a minimum of 5, if not longer, on lower traveled roads. Not only with that, we've actually gone through and looked back through all of our low-volume cul-de-sac streets that dump out onto a collector, and we have changed those from stop signs to yield signs. So far, we have over 62 of them removed, which means that's 62 lines for limit lines we no longer have to maintain. We did complete striping on one road, about 90% of it. We did a little test thing and a learning curve over on North Los Flores, or that's not north, that will be East Los Flores. So by the fire station and by the museums. Came out pretty good. I think as they operate the machines more and more, you will see some beautiful lines that go down. Our number one priority, as everybody I'm sure is happy to hear, is California Avenue. Beginning Monday, you'll start to see a rolling closure. We're going to close basically from like block to block. So we'll have China Lake Boulevard to Gemstone closed intermittently, so we can slurry that portion. All the crack fill is done now, and then that closure is just going to steadily jump down the road from intersection to intersection, so we can slurry all those portions down to Sunland. As soon as we get that done, the stripes will go back down. So with that, if anybody's got any questions, that's the update. Kyle got the long drawn-out plan today. You guys got the short and sweet version.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
I was the
Appreciate
one that
update.
said there was a lull.
Next item on the agenda, future agenda items.
Nothing, sir.
Nothing. Okay. Mayor and council comments.
Nothing for me.
Mr. Gorman. I have a few. Oh, Mayor Bruin.
Hello, guys. I'll be happy to. I got a couple quick things. Nothing huge, but just wanted to remind a few things. First, I wanted to thank the entire community for coming out for the Parade of 1,000 Flags. What a wonderful week we had celebrating patriotism and remembering those that sacrificed so much for us. I want to thank the IWV EDC, the Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce, the News Review, and everyone who put the effort into making that event happen. Thank you for what you do for our community, and we really do appreciate how our community comes together and how we always celebrate the youth that has no memory of what 9/11 was, but still celebrates that patriotism with them. So thank you for that. I also wanted to go ahead and recognize one group that did something really wonderful, and if you haven't seen it, there's a couple videos out there. First, Spectrum Vision came out and did a wonderful interview with Pat Ferris and many of the people that were involved in setting up the Parade of 1,000 Flags. The News Review has closed after 50 years of service to our community, and I think it's a great testament to everything that she's done. I hope you get a chance to see that video. The second video was done by our local youth symphony, and they went out and they played the Star Spangled Banner in front of the flags, and it was really beautiful to see them. I just want to take that personal moment and shout out for my 13-year-old son, Garrett, who did it on the day after his birthday. He was out there playing the Star Spangled Banner, and I really was proud of him for doing that. I want to remind a couple people of some important events coming up. This weekend is Old West Days in Randsburg. City Transit will be providing transportation up there if you're interested in participating, as well as it's a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen the Old West Days or our display in the lobby right now of the sheriffs, come by, take a look at it. It's fairly cool. I won't call it the Old West Mountain Men, but I know I'm not calling it the right name. Somebody will help me. It's Desert Sheriffs. I apologize. And then also this Saturday night, for the first time, the Desert Community Orchestra will be playing at Saracosa College under the stars on their patio. A beautiful opportunity to have an evening out with orchestra and pops. I hope everyone gets a chance to join us. And then finally, next weekend is the Desert Classic Grand Prix. We'll have a lot of people in town visiting. It's a great opportunity for our stores, businesses, and everyone to take advantage of all these wonderful visitors. They help to support our economy and definitely help to support our measures, and I thank them for coming. With that, I think I will close out my comments, say thank you, and sorry for not being able to attend. I am at the Bakersfield Local Area Formation Committee meeting. I will be doing this periodically for a period of time while I serve on both committees. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You covered most of the items I have, so I just want to make a couple of announcements. I think we have Relay for Life on October 5th. That's at Fairgrounds. And then next month, October 18th, is the Desert Empire Fair. And we have Veterans Stand Down. I don't have a date on that. So those are the announcements I have. And I want to make a comment. Chief Yasit, good to see you in a suit rather than your uniform. So look nice. Thank you. Right? So with that.
I have some go-backs if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
And that is that Friday is movie night. The movie is going to be shown in front of Kerr-McGee. It's going to be Kung Fu Panda 4. And let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, I think we forgot to mention something about the RPD had their open house. Chief, did you want to say anything about that?
I think it was great having the community there.
Yep. So for those of you who couldn't hear, the chief was just saying thank you to the community, and he thought it was great. It was great.
So with that, I think we don't have anything, any final comments or anything from any council members? No? Then we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:53. Thank you very much.